Welcome to Influence Matters. I'm your host, Clara Rose. Each week, we talk about crafting your message or other matters of influence, or we have a special guest that is making a difference in the world around them. And I think that you are going to be interested in hearing from them. And so I'll bring them on. But either way, if you are building a business, ministry, cause, or brand, you are in the right place, my friend. Today, I do have a special guest. So let me tell you about her really quickly. She is a powerhouse entrepreneur, devoted wife, a proud mother of three boys. She is the founder and CEO of Whiz Kidz Preschools, which means she's a crazy woman, the fastest growing chain of early childhood education centers based in Phoenix, Arizona. What began as a small home preschool rooted in passion and purpose has blossomed into a thriving network of 6 locations, 160 plus team members, as you can imagine, and over 700 families served, with even more expansion on the horizon, I guess. Under her visionary leadership, Whiz Kidz has become a standout in the industry, earning the title of Best Childcare 5 years running and securing a coveted spot in the Inc. 5000 list for 4 years in a row, which wow is all I can say. In addition to growing a values driven community, she is committed to creating deep community impact, which I love about her. She leads a church group at City Group for businesswomen. She campaigns about impact giving and proudly serves on the EO Accelerated Board, empowering the next wave of entrepreneurs, always near and dear to my heart. And then beyond the preschool world, she also wears many other hats. She's a real estate investor, a business coach, a podcaster. I was recently on her podcast, and an all around motivational force helping others build businesses and lives that they love. Please, please help me welcome my friend, Martha Picciao. Welcome, my friend,
Oh,
my
thank you so much
amazing
for having
friend.
me on. Well,
I'm
thank you,
in
Clara.
awe. What an amazing thing that you've built to start with, right? Uh, in childcare, that's a tough thing. I've worked in childcare, and that is a labor of love, my friend, right there. And you've built an empire out of it. I think that's just amazing. Tell my viewers a little bit about yourself. I know I read your bio, but we'd love to hear from you. So tell us about yourself.
Yes, well, thank you for such a warm welcome. It's an honor to be here. And, sometimes when you hear how you're introduced, it takes a minute because I am just so grateful for what God has done and really made beauty out of ashes. And it's really not me, but it's all the just his favor, because I am a mother of three, and Lord knows that is a full-time job in and of itself. And early on, years ago, I had, as a young teenager, I discovered that I love teaching and I love children. I was a Sunday school teacher, and or I started in that helping, and then I became a Sunday school teacher, and the rest is history. And now I get to do all the things that I love. I was able to raise my children with me, and while building a business, and I never thought that I would build a big business. I went to school to be a teacher, and so my life goals were to teach and raise a family of my own and have a white picket fence and have kids and dogs running around. And so life didn't exactly happen that way, but isn't it true that with the Lord, we can make lemonade out of lemons, and things don't always work out the way we thought or wanted or planned, but God does, like, goes above and beyond, and
Mm.
it totally, just that idea of above, exceeding, and abundant
Mhm.
is truly what he does. And yeah, so I get to just do things that I love and run with it. I'm at 0 or 100 miles an hour. So I'm an all in type
Yep,
of gal, if you know how that goes. So
yep,
that's a little bit
I
about
do.
me. It doesn't
Yeah.
really matter what it is. I'm gonna go all in, and I
Mhm.
love to love on people well, and I love to continue to grow. And now I'm in the season of life that I want to help others grow, because
Mm.
anyone, if a girl from a small town with a teaching degree and single mom on food stamps, recently
Mm.
divorced, can build something literally out of nothing, anyone can. Really, truly, anyone
Anyone
can.
can.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that piece of your story, because it's so easy to find yourself in a position that you're saying, Lord, this is not what I had in mind, right? This is not what I signed up for. This isn't what I thought that it was going to be, right? Having been through
yeah.
divorce myself, you one day like, oh, well, this isn't how this was supposed to happen, right?
Mhm.
This isn't what I signed up for. And then God faithfully, right, faithfully does above and beyond all that we can ask or think, right? He
Yes.
just surprises us. He shows up and provides and is faithful, and then the new things come, right? And then there is life again, right? And new and
Mhm.
wonderful things happen as we lean into the Lord and let Him guide us and lead us, and um, new and wonderful things. My goodness, you've built an empire, right? So from a place where you thought, all right, Lord, this isn't what I planned, to you have like an empire of little people running around. I think that's completely amazing. So you talked a little bit about this next phase where you're feeling like you want to help other people. So that's the business coaching part, right? That you're talking about, that
Yes,
next piece.
yes. Yeah, so a few years ago, I started volunteer coaching. I'm part of an organization. It's an actually a global organization. It's called Entrepreneurs Organization. You have to apply, you have to be vetted, you go through this whole process. You have to have um, uh, entrepreneurs who want to have a local chapter in collaboration with other people. And
Hmm.
so I applied years ago. It was actually about 5, almost 6 years ago. It was kind of during COVID, right before, like right during
Hmm.
COVID, I want to say. And it was such a refreshing thing for me, because I've been part of a lot of masterminds, but a lot of them were, you meet 4 times a year in person and then virtual. And so I had actually somebody in my mastermind had recommended EO, and it's a global organization and there's local chapters. And Arizona, where I am,
Okay.
happens to be an amazing chapter. So it's really nice to have a local network of
Hmm.
entrepreneurs. And I discovered that I had been living on this silo. I had just been building and bootstrapping and figuring things out on my
Right.
own, and had no life outside of work and my children, and on Sundays church. But I couldn't even be involved because I was sucked into this business. And so uh as a result of being part, when you're in groups and that saying of, tell me who your 5 closest friends are, I'll tell you how successful
Right.
you'll be. And it was just having this doing life. We meet monthly, and then there's all these events and learning events, but it was with all local people. So I had this at a bigger scale, but I always had to travel and things like that. So anyhow,
Mhm.
when I became part of this, I found a lot of success. I started i-
Mm.
implementing a lot of the things that I was learning. It was one little thing at a time, one little thing at a time. And as we all know, things compound. Change doesn't happen overnight. It's what we do consistently over time that's going to give
Yep.
us the results. And so found a level of success. And then I was asked if I could coach. It's kind of an incubator. It's called Accelerator,
Mm.
where it's
Love
people
that.
that want to get into EO but still don't qualify. They're not at the revenue that you have to make a certain amount of
Sure.
revenue in your business. And so, but they want to facilitate that. And I thought, wow, I wish I would have known this back when I
Mhm.
was that, incoming entrepreneur and we were just revenuing in the six figures. It's a very tough season of
Mhm.
building a
Yep.
business. You are wearing all the hats and you are doing all the things. And so
Yep.
you find a level of success, but then you think, goodness, I just traded my other job for a harder job and I
Right.
probably
A
make
harder
even
job.
less money, you know, and I work more hours.
Yep.
And what was I thinking? And what is this whole thing that they
Yep.
say work on your business and not in it? And so that's how I started doing that, found a level of success there. A lot of my mentees were able to get
Mhm.
into EO and break that revenue goal. And, we worked with them for a whole year. And I
Yeah.
discovered that I had this teaching ability far more than the littles and far more than even my own
Right.
staff, because as you grow, a real leader
Mhm.
has to develop other leaders. You don't just want followers. We want other
Right.
leaders developing, and then those leaders develop it's this cascading effect. And so I was just at a different angle and found success there. And, when people start asking and asking, well, how did you do it? And how do
Right.
you do it?
Right.
And all the things. And then
Mm.
to me, it's so natural. To me, it comes
Right.
natural now, 18 years in, right?
Right.
Wasn't always
Right.
natural. And so,
Right.
yes, so now I do coaching, one-on-one coaching for entrepreneurs
Mhm.
who have found out that initial level of success. They're maybe in that six-figure revenue mark and really want to break the seven, and maybe you're in the seven and you want to get to the eight-figure mark. It's all about the systems. It's all about mindset, and that's what
Mhm.
we work on. I have been there. I have done all that. And it's thanks to collaboration, it's thanks to mentors, but it's also thanks to accountability. And I think
Mm.
mentorship is so important for that. And that's what I love to
So,
do. It's truly now my
yeah.
newfound passion.
Yeah, I love that because your preschools are taking care of themselves, right? Because you have staff in
Yes.
place and because you've been a good leader, right? You've empowered others, and now that frees you up to be passionate about b- being the mentor, helping people with that next stage. And you're right, that is a tough spot when you're successful, but you're still wearing all the hats, right? So there's a
Yes.
big difference between having created a job for yourself, right? And then
Hmm.
truly stepping into business ownership where you can step back and it still happens, right? So that step is a really difficult thing for a lot of people, that leap to make. Now, just curiosity, do you work with people who are at the very beginning stages as well, or do you want them to be at that level where they're trying to bridge that next gap? Do you do
I
both?
have I can do both. I have found
Mhm.
greater success with the people that have a level, they're past the startup and
Sure.
they have the hunger, and they're out of
Right.
the it's really hard to even make calls
Yeah.
and show up when it's really, numbers tell a story in every single business. And
Yeah.
I love to work with anyone that's willing to
Mm.
put in the work. But I have found there's more struggle, and I get it because I remember that
Sure.
was the version of myself years ago. And you
Right.
have to be ready. The success doesn't just come because
Yeah.
you hire the coach. The coach
Right.
is simply a guide.
Yeah.
And so, yes, if they are, I work with anyone who's in business already, with whether it's the first year, the fifth year, the 15th year. Um, but they have to be ready to put in the work because
Right.
I have skin in the game. When you
Right.
succeed, that's my end goal, right? Because I could just be
Right.
like, well, you paid your fee. I wish you well, and
Right.
that's on you
Right.
for not showing up. No, I will make
Right.
you like, I don't want to say make you, but I want you to show up.
Hunt you
I
down.
want to do the work. I want to do the work with you. Like, this is the work I
Right.
love to do. is getting
Right.
you the results, getting you the wins, getting you
Yeah.
the aha, because success is a muscle. As we build the muscle, guess what? We build confidence to keep doing
Mhm.
that the things that scare us. But if you do the first, you have your first win, then you have a little bit more confidence,
Right.
and you keep going, your goals keep getting bigger, and
Yep.
you just
So
go for it.
true.
And that's for me the biggest success. Like,
That's
I
what
can
fills you
care if
up, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I get it.
So yes,
It's and
I'm
some
here for anyone.
anyone. It's similar to when you're writing a book, right? We do a chapter at a time, and that successfully creating that first chapter gives them confidence. I can do this, right? Get the outline done. Oh, I can do this. Get the first chapter. Oh, I can do this. But the real success for me comes at the end when the book is published, right? And they're holding it in their hot little hand going, look what
I
I
did
did,
this.
right? So that's, I totally get what you're saying. That's, you want the people who are willing to do the work so that they can have the outcome, because that's where your satisfaction and where your reputation lies,
Yes.
honestly, right?
Yes,
So that's
exactly.
super important. Super
Exactly.
important. So I am just so excited about this piece. I didn't know a lot about the business coaching piece of what you did, but just the fact that you have a track record. You started a home-based business, right? With
Mhm.
your own children, probably, right? And now you've created this little empire. So you truly have the knowledge and the tools to help people take that next step. So that's super exciting. How does the process start if someone's like, oh my goodness, I think I need Martha in my life? What do they do first?
So reaching out to me, we will book a kind of a discovery call and make sure that we're the right fit. I'm not
Good fit.
looking for, any perfection. It's just more, uh, I'm very personable, and I want to be able to make sure that you can handle me, because, we're going to get to work, and not,
Right.
I may not be everybody's cup of tea, but yeah, I feel like you either love me or you're like, thanks, no thanks, like this is much. But for the most part, if I'm a visionary by heart. And so
Mm,
when people they have a lot of visions of doing things, but they feel stuck. So we kind of unpack that, and we have just a conversation, getting acquainted, getting to know each other, and see if
mhm.
it's a good fit. And we get to the ground running. I mean, we have our first session, and we have weekly calls, and we work very
Okay.
strategically. I have a framework so we can stay on track. And I'm all
Nice.
about efficiency. Time is finite. We don't have all the time in the world. So
Right.
we get to the point really quick. In EO, we say we get naked fast. The faster you get vulnerable, the yeah,
Sure.
I know it's kind of taboo, but,
Oh,
if you think the idea that the faster you get vulnerable
mm,
and you really tell me your fear and you really
mhm,
tell me what's holding you back, the faster we can get to work
right,
on that, and the faster we can unpack and strategize and create a vision together. This
mhm.
And then we work our way back. So,
Sure,
a year flies by, 6 months flies by,
it does.
but
Yep.
that is how I was able to build a business over time, over and over and over, is doubling our revenue. I mean, now our revenue is much larger than before, so it was easier to double your
Mhm.
revenue when you have less
Yeah,
millions.
right,
Now there's more millions, and so now
right.
it's harder
Harder to
to
double.
double the millions. But
Right.
yes, I mean,
Uh,
talking millions used to terrify me. I talk in many
sure.
zeros now, and it's and I still have a small business. In my mind, I still have a very small business, and
Mm,
still there's
yeah,
so many things to achieve. But yeah, we just get real to it. I mean, everything is I'm accessible on all socials, and I would love to get to work with people that really have that vision. And I love how it ties into, it's just like writing a book.
mhm,
When we have a story, we have a passion, and when God places something in our heart, we have to do something about it because it will just
Mm.
burn us.
Eat at you if
You
you
just
don't.
have
Yeah.
to go for
Yeah.
it. And sometimes
Yep.
we need help. All of us need help, frankly.
Oh,
I have a coach.
yes.
Every year of my life, I still have coaches. I
Yep.
will never not have a coach.
Yep. I agree.
So,
As a matter
and
of fact,
like hiring
we
you.
met Yeah, we met in a mastermind, right? We're both in the
Yeah.
same mastermind this year. It's high achieving women who are faith based, who trying to take it to the next level, right? So we literally met in that circumstance, right? We're looking for coaching. We're looking for that's why we joined, an elite mastermind so that we could take that next step. And I'm a firm believer that everybody needs that coach, right? If it's not your wheelhouse, it's not your expertise, you need a coach, right?
Yes.
I have a nutrition coach, I have a
Mhm.
workout coach, I have
Yep.
coaches because
Mhm.
those aren't my wheelhouse, right? If you want to write a book, I'm your coach, right? Because that's my wheelhouse, right? So I think
Yeah.
it's almost funny that when we're children, we don't think anything of having a coach, right? You might have a baseball coach, a ballet coach, you have a coach for all sorts of things, and nobody thinks anything of it. And then you become an adult, and all of a sudden, like, think we don't need coaches, right? It's crazy, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
whatever you
Yeah.
need, go find a coach, somebody who's been there, done that. And clearly, Martha, you have been there and done that. So you are the right person to help them go to that next level. Now, I this just had just popped into my head because you may or may not, but do you have like a certain are they only faith-based individuals? Are they just women? Or is there a particular kind of business you like to work in? Anything like that?
I have worked with all businesses. I have worked with many men actually, and I will
Mm-hmm.
tell you, while I appear very feminine and I love women and I'm surrounded by women because in childcare, we're
Mm-hmm.
basically all women, and so I'm
Sure.
very, I'm unbiased on who I work with, but I will tell you, the men that I've worked with. Uh, Kill it because
Mm-hmm.
they seem to be a little more competitive and they kind of want to
Mm.
outbeat what I give them or their homework. And so I
Right.
love that because I am so competitive and I think of I just yeah, I can work with anyone, any type of business.
Mm.
Primarily service based. So I work with uh,
Okay.
I have different clients. Just doctor's offices, physical therapy offices. I have
Okay.
a client who um they're a service-based blue collar business, but he has a lot of branches. And so because in childcare I've built a multi-location, that's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of
Yeah.
regulation, a lot of safety, just all the things. And so we build it's all a rinse and repeat. It's the same formula. It doesn't really matter what business you have, but it's creating
Right.
your systems, creating accountability, measuring what we're managing. If you
Right.
don't measure who you manage or what you're managing, there it won't happen, So
Yeah.
there's so
Yeah.
many things that go on in a business, regardless of the actual industry. So unless it's
Sure.
not something very niche and very specific, for the most part, we can I can work with any type of
Mm.
business, and men or
Figure it
females. I
out.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I only ask because like in my business, there are some people that I don't work with for their book because of the content, right? I don't
Right.
take on any books that are, have questionable content or, foul language or because they don't fit the Rosedale publishing brand, right? So I think it's just important for
Mhm.
people to know coming in from the get go, right? It makes perfect sense that you would focus on businesses that are service based because that's where your expertise is, right? In building a service based, so it's just good for viewers to know, right? Hey, if I think she might be for me, knowing that you specialize in a service base, that
Mhm.
helps them self-identify, right? Is, oh, I'm service
Correct.
based. I totally am that I'm her I'm her people. She's my people, right?
Yeah.
And she's 100 miles an hour with your hair on fire kind of girl, right? And
Yeah.
so that attracts the right people, right? If somebody's
Mhm.
maybe timid or quiet or something, they may not, they make, oh, she might be too scary for me or whatever, right? I'm the same way, right? I tell people right up front, 100 miles an hour, hair on fire. I'm going to push you to get this done, right? I'm going to be patient, but we're in this to
Right.
make this happen. So
Mhm.
I think that's important stuff. But I am just thrilled at all that you have accomplished and all that. I feel honored to just know you because I think you're a rock star, superwoman
Oh,
here. Thank you
no.
for being on my show.
Well, it's such
You
an
feel
honor to
special.
know women like you. I think that we all need a Clara Rose in our corner who, you're the type of
Oh,
person that brings out the best in people. And I have learned through the years, you have to surround yourself with people that bring out the best in
mm,
you, whether that's in
mhm.
your network, in your friend group, in your family, in work. We have enough that we fight right on our own, and
Right,
so thank you for the
right.
work that you do, and I'm excited
Thank you.
for all the other people you're going to continue to help and
Mm.
and kind of bring out the shine in them.
No, I love that. I love that. I appreciate that so much. Okay, so we're just about out of time. Any last 10 or 15-second thing you'd like to say before you go?
Well, I
Anything?
just want to say that it is so important that wherever you are, doesn't matter if it's a Thursday, it doesn't matter if you're in your 50s, it doesn't matter if it's 5 p.m. But if you have something on your heart, you need to start today. Don't wait.
Do it.
Time is limited, and
Yep,
surround yourself with people that are going to empower you, that are going to help you, and that have
I
already
love
done
that.
the thing that you want to do. And so, whether
Yep,
that's me, I would love to work with you, or Clara, or whatever it is, a health coach, a whatever season in your life that you want to improve, whatever department of your life, uh, get that help. And
get that
I'm
help.
happy to
I love that.
happy to be here.
Thank you. All right, my friend. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Was she completely amazing? She was, I know. If you would like to learn more about her, hop over to her website, check her out. And then, of course, if you have not yet downloaded the Savvy Author app, you can find it in the Play Store. So go ahead and download that and get started on your journey to becoming a savvy author. See you next week, guys.